And for more, we cross to London. Ramon Pacheco Pardo heads the Department of European and International Studies at King's College London. Thank you for speaking with us here on France 24.
Thanks for having me.
Are you expecting surprises from North Korea during this visit?
Well, we know that North Korea has made all the preparations to conduct either a long-range missile test or a nuclear test. What we don't know if the test will take place during the visit or after the visit. And I think not even the US and South Korea know. But yeah, I would expect a test in the coming days, whether it's during Biden's time in South Korea or in Japan, or shortly after he goes back to the US.
And by the way, it's not just North Korea that the South Koreans are keeping an eye out on. China conducting military exercises in the disputed South China Sea. It's a reminder of the fact that it's a volatile part of the world these days.
Yes, I think for South Korea, obviously North Korea continues to be the main security threat, but its relationship with China has deteriorated in recent years, like many other countries in the region. And increasingly you see the South Korean military posture focusing not only on North Korea, but also on a potential threat from China, whether it's in the East China Sea, South China Sea, or also even South Korean airspace, for example.
And who is the one urging who on in this? Who's the more hawkish when it comes to China? Is it Joe Biden or is it the new conservative president of South Korea?
I would say that the US, Joe Biden, and the US in general continues to be more hawkish because at the end of the day, South Korea is next to China. It has been a neighbor of China for centuries, really, as a unified country. It will continue to be a neighbor for centuries to come. So South Korea, including the current president, they know that they have to live with China. They cannot afford, for example, a full-blown confrontation. And in the case of the US, obviously has more capabilities. Geographically, it is further away. So I think the US continues to be more hawkish, but it is true that the current South Korean president, Yoon Suk-yeol, is also willing to stand to China in a way that maybe previous South Korean presidents were less willing to do.
Ramon Pacheco Pardo, what does it tell you, the fact that Joe Biden lands in Seoul and the first thing he does is visit that computer chip factory, Samsung, which is going to make a similar factory in Texas next year?
This is very significant. He could have gone to the DMZ, separating the two Koreas. He could have gone to the new office of the president of the new office in Central Seoul, Yoon Suk-yeol, but he didn't. He went to a Samsung factory. I think this tells us two things. First of all, that economic competition between China and the US is a crucial component of this visit of Joe Biden to the region, to South Korea, and then to Japan. He wants to have South Korea on board. And the second thing, that South Korea is a crucial player. It has some of the most advanced semiconductors, electric batteries, many other high-tech goods. So if the US is going to confront China in the areas of the economy and technology, it needs to work together with South Korea, as well as, of course, as other partners in Europe or in Asia itself.
And this issue of computer chips specifically is at the core of that.
It is because the US clearly feels that it is lagging behind countries such as South Korea or Taiwan, but also feels that China might be able to catch up in the not too distant future. Hence, for example, the factory in Texas that you mentioned that Samsung is going to open, which from a US perspective is crucial to be able to have these factories open in US territory, so that this type of chips and other high-tech goods can be produced within the US itself. They don't have to be imported from other parts of the world, such as, for example, South Korea and Taiwan.
And then there's the next leg. He'll be going on to Japan for a meeting of the so-called Quad. That Quad, is it going to be squarely about China, or is Russia going to hog a part of the conversation now?
I think increasingly it is not only about China, or at least not explicitly about China. I think it is also about countering the threat that the US, Europe as well, see from authoritarian regimes. So I think even though the explicit statement won't mention neither China or Russia, I think both of them will be discussed as part of this Quad summit.
Ramon Pacheco-Pardo of King's College London, thank you so much for speaking with us here on France 24.
Thank you.